C++. So some of the questions that have been asked for C++ has been same over the decades. So now the very first question that I'll say and talk about is why Python? What are the key features? This is simple and readable syntax. This has got very simple and readable syntax. So Python is clear and straightforward. It's accessible for beginners as well as advanced and experienced developers. It has interpreted language. Python executes code line by line, which helps in debugging and testing both. All right. So it has got extensive libraries and frameworks. The libraries are like NumPy, Pandas, Django, and which expands Python functionality for specialized tasks in data science and web development, and much more. Cross-platform compatibility. Python can run into different operating systems, including Linux, Unix, and Mac OS, along with Windows, of course. Yeah. What are the type of lists and tuples? Okay, lists and tuples are fundamental of Python data, which distinct characteristics use as cases. So, what is a list? List is mutable. Elements can be changed after creation, so it can be mutated very easily. And memory usage, consumers, um, the memory usage is minimal, and the performance slow iteration compared to tuples, but better for insertion and deletions, like all the DML insertion, deletion, and you know data manipulation, like which you know that, right? So what are the methods? Offer various built-in methods for manipulation. A list, data, camp, tutorial. I can write something down for you guys, how it can be done. So this A list is a list where we can put some data in there. Data, camp, and let's say tutorial. So a list dot append which is a session, then print this list. How do we use print command? Print is a list. Which will give us the output. Output in the sense we will get data, camp, and tutorial. Alright, and the brackets closed. This will only have output data, so it will be in the single quotes. Input data is in double quotes. This is how you can put the data input and data output in with methods used for the list. All right, what is a tuple? It's immutable. Elements can the two things that we discussed, right? List and tuple. Tuple, it cannot be changed after creation. Memory usage consumes less memory. Performance fast integration compared to the list, but lacks the flexibility. Obviously, it cannot be interchanged well. Flexibility method, limited built-in methods. All right. So a tuple is like this: data, camp, and tutorial. So how do we print the tuple? We use the print command. Print a underscore tuple. The output will be the hash output. Will be data. Camp tutorial. So this is how you use tuple. So what are the integers in Python? In IT, in IT,
यहाँ का dedication salute.
in IT, method in Python. In IT method in Python is also known as a constructor, like we have in Apex also and also. So this is also constructor, which is basic method of OOPS language, OOPS technology. It is used to initialize the object state. It is used to initialize the object state when it's created. The method is automatically known. This method is automatically called when a new instance of class is initiated. The construction is called automatically when it is the first method of the class and it's initiated. So it's assign values to the object properties and perform any initiation operations. When you create a book, like for example, how we write a book class, a constructor store the book title name and the book function will print the book name. To test our code, we have initialized this b as Sandman and executed the book function. So class, if we write this class bookshop, constructor, how we define it? Self title. So the self dot title is equal to title. And what's the sample method? Define book self print title of self dot title. Alright, so this gives b dot b is equal to bookshop. That's what I'm going to print, right? Sandman. So after printing, we are defining what's B. B is for the bookshop man, right? And then we put the name of the book by putting B dot B double OK book, and that's the function constructor. Hence, the title of the book is Sandman. So this was one of the examples that I gave you for the constructor of using Python. So simple book, how it provides the book name, and this constructor is called self book, right? So self book, it will be called automatically. It will print the name of the book. What is the difference between mutable data type and immutable data type? Mutable data types are those who can be modified after creation, like the difference between tuple and you know list. That's mutable and immutable data types. Here is the data type, and mutable uh, list and tuples are fundamental Python data structures. Those are the data structures, and this is what this is the data type of the Python class. Hopefully, this makes you a little bit sense how we're moving towards the basic structure to the data types of Python. So, mutable data types are those that can be modified after creation, and examples are like list, dictionary, and set. What are the characteristics? Elements can be added, removed, and changed, so they can be done after the creation. Use case suitable for collections of items where frequent updates are needed. All right, we will take an example of mutable data type. So we'll take a list example. So there'll be list example. So what's a list? A underscore list dot app and append. Let's change. So we're going to insert number 4 in this list, which is a list. So if we print this a list, if we print this a list, it should have all the 4 numbers. All right. So let's see how it comes in the output. So we put output here. So in the output, it's got all the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's closed. That's how we get immutable data type. And how we can use a dictionary. Let's say a dictionary example. So in dictionary example, A. So in A, let's say 1. In B we will put 2, and we close that with the flower brackets. Okay, that's the flower bracket. So if we say in A, is equal to 3, so if we print this, then it should have all the three numbers, 1, 2, and 3. Print A underscore dictionary output. It should have A should be 1, B should be 2, and C should be 3. Alright, done. So what are these were the mutable data types. What are the immutable data types? Immutable data types are those that cannot be modified after the creation. So that cannot be created after the creation. Example numeric. Example of immutable data types are numeric, integer, float. So these are the examples. Numeric, integer, and float. All right. And string and tuple. So these are examples of immutable data types. What are the characteristics of this? Characteristics of this: when an element cannot be changed after once set, any operation of deletion, updation, or creation that will create a new object. So we can go with the example as well, how it will be created and how it will be done. Right? Numeric example. So let's see another example. Twenty creates a new integer object. Creates a new string object. Then if we print this A underscore str, then the output should be world. Alright. And what's the tuple example? Let's see what's the tuple example. A underscore tuple is equal to 1, 2, 3. Alright. So if we say A underscore tuple 0 is equal to 4. This will raise a temporary type error because it's only has got 3. So this will output will only be 1, 2, 3 because it cannot be mutated. Output will be what? 1, comma 2, comma 3. So that's all will be the output. So this was the example of both tuple and mutated and mutable and immutable data types. So here that's why we give tuples with that is immutable, right? String list is mutable, tuple is not. So anything can be added and removed from the list. And here it cannot be changed. What's the difference between you know what's the difference between list, dictionary, and tuple comprehension with an example? So list comprehension is one linear syntax to create a new list based on the values that exist in the list. You can use for a loop to replicate same thing, but it will require you to write multiple lines. But it will require you to write multiple lines and sometimes it can get complex as well. So list comprehension erases the creation of the list based on the existing iterable. So I can do one thing. I can put all these examples for you here.
ये तो ज्यादा तैयारी कर रहे हो ना, ऐसे मुझे लगा तो कितने इंटेलिजेंट हो।